Perfect. There we go. All right, so what do we do then with a minus in front of like parentheses like that? What do we do when a minus is in front of parentheses like that? Yeah, it's just like anything else in front of parentheses. It's going to distribute, huh? It's like a number in front of parentheses or a letter in front of parentheses or a minus sign. If it helps you, you can think of it as a -1. You don't have to. It's just a minus sign, -1, same thing. That minus or -1 is going to multiply, distribute to all the things inside, changing all the signs. So that's what it's going to do. It's going to change all the signs. So the -1 times y, minus times that, minus y, minus 97, done. So parentheses are like a floodgate, right? And anything up against the floodgate, when you drop the gates, the water is going to rush in. That's pretty much what happens, right? Anything in front of a parenthesis, we drop the walls, the water rushes in and hits everything, doesn't it? That's what always goes on with things up against the wall of a parenthesis. Right? And if it's a minus sign, it changes all the signs, doesn't it? That you know, or needed. Okay, so 32a minus parentheses 19a minus 29. Okay, what do we do with that minus sign up against the parentheses? Well, you know, go ahead and distribute it. Drop the parentheses. Let the parentheses drop off. And distribute that minus sign to hit both of them. So that minus sign is going to go boom and boom. So it'll be minus 19a plus 29. Good so far. 32a minus 19a. What is that? Is it 13? I think it's 13. 13a on that. And then the plus 29, and then that's it right there. We good there? About okay? Questions I can answer?
Is it minus 29 or plus?
Oh, it's plus. Yeah, good question. Yeah, it's because that minus hits that other minus, making this plus here. Good question. Does that make sense? Everybody see what happened there? So that minus in front of the wall, it hits the front of both these. It hits the front of the 19a, making it minus 19a. Then it hits the front of the 2a, minus times minus plus. Two minuses make a plus, right? When they multiply. And that's multiply. Anything in front of parentheses is multiplying those. Good? Am I going too quick? We okay? We'll try that one. So we have 6h plus 5j minus 5 parentheses 6h minus 4j plus 5k. Yeah, so you know what to do. You got a minus 5 up against the wall there, up against the parenthesis wall. Huh? Let that minus 5 distribute. Let that minus 5 distribute. So minus 5 is going to go boom, 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 right? That minus 5 is going to multiply all three on the inside. And then what are we gonna get from there? 6h plus 5j. Now remember that minus that's on the 5, that's his baby. Take that minus with him wherever he goes, right? It's not just a 5 multiplying. That's a minus 5, right? Whenever a sign's in front of somebody, that's theirs. That's their baby. You don't forget your baby. Take it with you there. All right, so what do we got? Minus 30h, I think. Minus 30h. And then what? Plus 20j. Is that good? Everybody see how that sign changed there? Because that was minus 5 times minus 4, huh? Take that minus with him. And then minus 5 times plus 5. Be minus 25k. So far, so good. The walls are down. No more parentheses. I dropped them and the water rushed in, right? You good so far? That's the rule for parentheses, brackets. In a minute, they're going to go crazy. Like 2 problems away. They're going to go crazy. Parentheses, brackets, and curly brackets, all in the same problem. So I want to get that basic idea that when you drop a wall, you drop parentheses or brackets, same thing. Whatever's in the front, the water goes boom, boom, boom. It hits everything on the inside, right? Okay, so now where from here? 6h minus 30. Use like terms, right? 6h minus 30h. Put them together. So that minus 24h. And then plus 5j and plus 20j. Plus 25j. And then the minus 25k is just at the back, and that's that. That's it. Good? You okay with all that? Distributing in like terms? Don't forget the minus that's on something. That's theirs. So what do we got? 7 bracket. Yeah, 9 minus 5. Parenthesis 8 minus 5. Try that one. Okay, so what do we do first? Yeah, the parentheses, huh? The 8 minus 5, which is 3. Good there. What's next? Could we subtract 9 minus 5? First?
No.
Why not?
Because don't we have to stick to the order of operations?
Yeah, and what's the order of operations?
Oh, I don't know.
That's okay. You're doing them right. Yeah, PEMDAS. Anybody know the old saying? I guess I'm old-fashioned.
Oh, please.
Yeah, there we go. Please excuse Madeira and Sally. Whatever, PEMDAS, whatever works for you. Yeah, that's the order of operations, right? PEMDAS, absolutely essential you have that memorized. No, I'm just joking around. Really, it's not. First off, you can just write it on your 3x5 card. But I wouldn't even bother to write it, just like you said, you don't remember, but you were doing it right. Everybody, it's really, what's funny about math and science, I really see that with this problem here. Math and science is not about memorizing things. As long as you're doing it right, that's fine. And this is a perfect case in that. All the time people memorize PEMDAS, and yet they do them wrong. I mean, I don't know how many times I've graded papers with questions like this, and I'll see students, they'll write PEMDAS, they'll actually write PEMDAS right next to the problem, and then they'll do the problem wrong. They won't follow the order of operations. Because they've got PEMDAS memorized, but they don't understand PEMDAS. Math and science is about understanding the things, not about memorization. So, for example, let me show you one thing you might not be aware of. When we say P first, what does P stand for? Parentheses. I bet there's something that almost all of you don't know about that. So that means we do what first here? Right. So we got to do that means we have to do these parentheses right here, the 15 first, right? No, it does not mean that. Although we do the 15 first, not because of the P. That's not because of parentheses. That's one very misunderstood thing. P means parentheses, but it doesn't just mean anywhere you see parentheses at any time, always go there and do those parentheses first. No, that's not true. It means problems inside parentheses. So that was the 8 minus 5. Yeah, that had to be done first because there was a problem that needed to be finished inside the parentheses. Yeah, that's absolutely always first. That's what it means by the P in the parentheses, problems inside parentheses. But once you've done that problem and it's a 3, then that's the end of the parenthesis thing. That doesn't mean, oh, look, here's a parenthesis, do that thing first. No, that one's done. That one's done. This is just multiplying now. This is the m. So, for example, if I had a power here first, I would do that before I did the multiplying, right? Does that make sense? I wouldn't just go, well, there's parentheses, got to do that. No, the parentheses are done. The parentheses don't just mean any parentheses anywhere. They mean a problem in the. See the difference then between blind kind of memorization and really understanding what those things mean. I've had tons of students write PEMDAS and do the problems wrong over the years. So I wouldn't even memorize PEMDAS. Who cares? Actually, you know what? The only thing I would remember, the only thing that students mess up on is the AS at the end. Just remember that adding, subtracting is left. That stands for adding, subtracting. This is multiplying and dividing. E stands for exponents, powers. But anyway, you just sense it. Everybody does those right. I wouldn't even bother. The only thing that people mess up on is they forget adding, subtracting's last. If you'll just remember adding, subtracting's last, you can forget about the rest. You'll be fine. You'll kind of naturally do it right. It'll all be good. So yeah, so having said all that, we do the 5 times 3 next. I hope I didn't confuse you. Not because of parentheses, but because it's multiplying and subtracting and adding are last. So, yeah, do the multiplying 5 times 3 is 15. Now, what should I do next? Should I distribute? It's your option. You actually could. Distribution's an option, or you could do the subtraction in the brackets first. Was that minus 6? Yeah, so I'd probably do it that way. That'd be the easiest, right? Because brackets are the same as parentheses. They're no different. There's different look, same function. So brackets, parentheses, all the same thing. Just finish the problems in the brackets or parentheses first. Did that, then multiply a minus 42. We're done. You would have got the same answer if you distributed. It's the same thing. Is that good? So having said all those words, just remember adding, subtracting's last. You'll be fine. That's all you really need to know. I wouldn't even bother to memorize PEMDAS. Good on that one. Does that make sense? Adding, subtracting's last. Adding, subtracting's last. Okay. Really ease us in. Just all of a sudden. Boom. Big problem. So 2, what's that, a curly bracket? Curly bracket, and then regular bracket, and then 4. X minus 5 plus 19. Bracket minus bracket 3 parenthesis 2x minus 3 plus 4 bracket curly bracket. All right. Remember, parentheses, brackets, curly brackets, all the same thing. It's just different kinds of grouping symbols. So what is our goal? We're going to do whatever we can inside them. And the main thing, though, is we're going to drop them out of there. I'm going to go piece by piece. I'm going to drop the parenthesis walls. I'm going to drop the bracket walls. I'm going to drop the curly bracket walls. But whenever I do, whenever I let the floodgate down, whenever I let the walls drop down, remember, whatever's waiting in the front that the wall's holding back will rush in and hit everybody inside, right? So, all right, so with that fundamental concept, so can I do what's inside the parentheses there first? Can't subtract x and 5, huh? That's why we have the distribution rule. That's why we say, well, 4 distributes, because sometimes you cannot do what's in the parentheses when they're unlike terms, huh? That's why we have distribution. So let's do that. So I'll just bring this down to curly brackets. So it'll be 4x minus 20. So notice I just dropped the parenthesis walls, right? This is gone and gone. I lowered the walls on the parenthesis, and the 4 rushed in and hit everybody on the inside, right? So they're gone. They're not in the problem anymore. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be removing wall after wall. Same thing here. Whoops, not 3, huh? That's going to rush in. Going to be what? 6x minus 9. Like that. Are we good so far? Now, we should just combine those two and combine those two. They're just numbers, just add them, subtract them, you know? So what's that going to be? 4x minus 1 and 6x minus 5. We good so far? Like that. So now I'm ready to remove the bracket walls, both brackets. I'm going to leave the curly brackets in place, not ready for that yet. Kind of going from the inside out, as you know. So I'm going to remove the bracket walls, right? So remember, whenever I lower a set of walls, anything that was in the very front of that wall was holding back is going to rush in. The water's going to rush in and hit everything on the inside. So when I get rid of these bracket walls, what was right in the front, just right here I mean, not the 2. The 2 is being held back by the curly bracket. We're not to that yet. I'm just removing the bracket. What was the bracket holding back? Nothing. It's a dry floodgate, like last summer, right? Dry floodgates everywhere. So just 4x minus 1. Nothing happens. You know, the 2's still there, the curly bracket, right? Just remove those brackets. It was dry floodgate. Nothing happens. There was nothing that bracket was holding back. But how about the second, right? When I remove these brackets, what are they holding back? That minus sign or minus 1. Some people like to make a minus 1. Either way, it's fine. Minus sign or minus 1, yeah. That's going to need, that minus 1's going to go boom. It's going to rush in and hit everybody inside, huh? Whenever you lower the walls and there was something waiting in the front, that rushes in. So what do we get? Minus 6x plus 5. Everybody see why that became plus 5? Because the minus hit the 6x and the minus hit the minus to be plus. Is that good? So I remove those. So you drop the walls and whatever waiting in the front goes in. Now what do we do? Kind of combine those, right? Just like terms right there inside that. So it's going to be what? 2 curly brackets. 4x minus 6x is minus 2x. And then minus 1 plus 5 is plus 4. Good so far. And then lastly, this 2, we're gonna lower the curly brackets. Finally, final set of walls is gonna come down, and that 2 that's waiting in the front is gonna hit and hit. A lot of distribution. So what do we get? Minus 4x plus 8. There we go. A lot of steps, huh? There's only 7 more of these. I'm kidding. I think there's like 2 more. Questions on that one? Did you like that?
Yeah.
It was scary, but it beats down a lot.
It kind of gets better as you go, huh? Is that okay? No questions? I flash off of that. We try one? Yeah, Victoria.
I have a question right there, 1, 2, 3 down. It was a negative in between both of the columns. Yeah, and then all of a sudden you got a 1. Where'd you get that 1 from?
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
It was invisibly here. Remember, you can always put 1s whenever you want to because 1 doesn't change anything, right? If I just say 7 and somebody goes, oh, I thought it was 1 times 7. Well, that's not different, huh? That's still just 7. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just saying there was no 1 here. There was no 1 right here. Well, I could imagine a 1 there because what is 1 times the bracket change? Nothing. So I put the 1 there just for convenience, but you don't have to. If that bugs you, if that doesn't make it easier for you, you don't have to. But still the minus sign will distribute. And I don't know if this is your question, but it might be. I know it's a lot of people's question. A lot of people go, well, no, wait a minute, the minus is in the middle, right? From the beginning it was in the middle. But you only do it on the one on the right. But that's exactly correct. That is what minuses do, right? They go with the one on their right. That is it's their baby. Right? They go to the one on the right, always on that. So yeah, if you just want to do minus instead of minus 1, that's okay. Same thing, the minus just hits the 6x to be minus, and the minus hits the minus to be plus. Good. Other questions on that one? That makes sense? Yeah, the ones are up. There's always invisible ones everywhere, if that helps you. If it doesn't, don't do it, you know. It's just if it's helpful. Okay. curly bracket, or here, I better move it up here. Curly bracket, regular bracket, 5, C minus 5, plus 19, bracket, minus, bracket 3, parenthesis 4C, minus 3, plus 4, bracket, curly bracket. All right, so start distributing through those parentheses. Start on the inside with those little parentheses, right? Distribute through those. So this 5 distributes in, 4, what am I doing? 3 distributes in, yeah. Good so far? Distribute. So I dropped the little parentheses, right? Those walls came down, and the water, the thing waiting in front of them went in. Good. Distributed. Now gather like terms. Minus 25 plus 70 was at minus 6. And this is minus 9 plus 4. Minus 5. Good so far. Now, what about this minus sign right here up against this bracket wall? When I drop the wall, that minus is going to go in, huh? It's really a minus 1, if that helps you. So minus 12C plus 5, no more bracket wall. And when I drop the first bracket, what is that? What is in the front of that bracket that it's holding back? Nothing. So it's a dry floodgate, nothing happens. Good there? Yeah.
For the 12C minus 9 plus 4, since it's a negative 3 multiplied by negative 3, wouldn't that be a positive 9?
Good question. That negative is not on the 3.
Oh, okay.
He's separated. So, yeah, it's just a regular 3. Good. Other questions? Yeah, so that negative is he's just sitting in the front. He hasn't gone on anybody or with anybody yet. Okay, so in fact, here's where he finally goes in. So he goes in. All right, so now like terms, 5C minus 12C. Minus 7C. And then minus 6 plus 5 minus 1. Good to there. Then the 4 goes boom and a boom. minus 28c minus 4. How many got it? Did you get it? A few of you? Not that many of you, huh? A few? Okay, that's good if you got it. Questions I can answer? If you made a mistake, see your mistake? Something little? That okay? You guys don't like that one? No questions? Is it all good? All right, it'll be on YouTube. I really got to get moving. There's bigger fish to fry. Well, that's about the biggest fish, actually. There's other fish, I should say. That's probably the hardest problem in tonight's homework right there. There we go. So 12 minus 9 times 3 minus 8. All right, so give that one a try. I see it better now, easier. Okay, so can I go 12 minus 9 is 3?
No.
No, because adding, subtracting is last, right? That's just the main thing. About order of operations, you don't need the whole PEMDAS thing. Just remember, adding, subtracting is last. If you just remember that, you'll be good. That's really the only thing that fools people, is they add, subtract too soon. Adding, subtracting's last. Right? So you remember this way, it's the first thing you ever learned in math, right? When you're a kid and first did math, right? So it's the lowest of all operations, and we do it last. So do the multiplying first, right? So start with the multiplying. So then we get 12 minus, no, it's not 12. What am I doing? It's 27, huh? Minus 8. And then I would just use my calculator at this point. Minus 15, minus 23? Is that what it is? Did I get that right? Yeah, that's right, huh? Yeah. Just use your calculator. Good? Questions on that one? Add, subtract, last. Just remember that. Add, subtract, last. Add, subtract, last. Add, subtract, last. Okay. All right. We're almost to break time. Hang in there. A couple more. I want to get through 1.8 if we can. Take a break around noon there. Almost there. So, all right. So, yeah, let's do, you can just start with this part. It's fine. So what is, let me let you do that first. Go ahead and do that first. 14 divided by negative, you can just calculate if you want, negative 7. Is it going to be, is that first part going to be negative or positive? Negative. It's going to be negative, right? Because positive divided by negative, right? One negative, it's going to be negative. And it's just 2, right? 14 divided by 7 is 2, so negative 2. So far, so good? I'll do just that first off, just to keep things somewhat simple. Good so far? Now, what do I do with dividing? Flip the one on the right. Remember how we always do that? We did that something like yesterday. So you got to invert and multiply. So change it to minus 5 over 1 and change this to times. Good. I just flip the one on the right. We good to there? Invert the one on the right, change to times. And now it's times. So let's just multiply. Just minus 2 times minus over 1. I don't care about that over 1. Just ignore that. Over 1. What's 5 divided by 1? Just 5, huh? So it's just minus 2 times minus 5. It's positive or regular. You don't need the plus sign. So it's regular 10, isn't it? Because 2 negatives make a positive, don't they? Is that good? Questions on that one? All right. So 17 minus 4 squared minus 8. All right, this one holds a little trick. I'd be impressed if anybody knew it. And it's not really a smart thing. It's just a dumb little trick. You either know it and you've seen it, or you don't. You just don't remember it. Did you know that minus 4 squared is actually negative? You would think it would be positive because, 2 negatives is positive. It's a weird little trick. It's because, probably better if I show the parenthesis one. If you had parentheses, that one would be positive because that would be 2 negatives, and yeah, 2 negatives are positive, of course. Write this a little better. That one would be positive, a regular 16. This one just means 1 minus 2 fours. It's kind of weird, which therefore stays negative. Did you see that? Yeah, so it's really weird. You got to remember it. They're going to be throwing this curveball at you all the time, trying to trick you. So when there's a minus with a power, it's weird. The power is only on the number itself, not even on the minus. I mean, we think about that minus as just, hey, it's a minus 4. But really, technically, it's minus 1 times 4. I know you don't always think about it that way, but that's really what it is. That minus is separate. You don't need to write that or anything. But I'm just saying, you need to think in your mind, hey, that minus is separate. So when that 2 power is on the 4 with no parentheses, it's only the 4 that's repeated twice, not even the minus sign. Kind of surprising. So therefore, it's really only 1 minus. It ends up minus. But the parentheses, nothing unclear about that. That means 2 of the whole minus 4s, and 2 minuses is plus on that. Yeah?
So no matter what exponent it is,
Yeah.
there aren't parentheses, it'll always be negative?
Oh, no.
No?
No, so if you had minus 4 to the third.
Oh, without parentheses.
Oh, okay, yeah. So try that statement again then.
So if there wasn't parentheses and it was to the exponent, and the number that isn't to the exponent has a negative, it'll always be negative?
So yes. So if there's a negative sign, no parentheses, power doesn't matter, always negative.
Okay.
That's true. Yeah, because you know the way I put it? Yeah, I put it like, it's like a spectator at the event, right? Maybe that'll help. That minus is just sitting there. He's not going to do anything. Doesn't matter what you're saying it well. Doesn't matter what that power is, right? Because that power is telling somebody what to do, right? He's like a coach. It's my life. I sit and I watch soccer and I watch baseball. In fact, I'm supposed to go out at 5:30 today and watch baseball. I'm sure that'll be very comfortable. Anyway, so, and my daughter played soccer yesterday in the sun in the afternoon. She's going to die out there. Anyway, so I sit and I watch. When the coach yells instructions, I don't do it. I'm a spectator. That's what the minus sign is. He's just sitting there. He's not involved in the game. But when he's in the parentheses, he's in the game and he's got to do the 2 thing that the coach says to do. Make sense? Yeah, so he's just sitting there. He just stays negative, not doing anything. Doesn't matter what powers. All right, and then from there, it's just negative 24. Boom, right? So watch out, little trick. Minus sign with no parentheses. He's just a spectator. He's just sitting there. He's not going to do anything, no matter what the power.
So if it was a negative 4 to the power of 3, then it would be a negative.
Even though he did do 3 of them, you're right. 3 negatives would be negative. Well said. Yeah, exactly. Let's do these and we'll take a break. So 10 minus 6 squared over 3 squared plus 11 squared. Yeah. So try that one. So that minus 6 squared, is that minus going to obey the coach, or is he just sitting there watching? He's not in the parentheses. He's not in the game, right? He's just watching. He's just sitting there. So we don't do 2 minuses. It's just 10 minus 36, right? It just stays negative, right? Bottom is 9 plus, what is that, 121? Calculator, 11 times 11. And then what's that? Minus 26 over 130. Am I going too fast? And then you got to reduce that, right? I don't know exactly. Just divide by 2 for sure. That's all I could tell, right? Because they're both even, right? They're both even, so you know it's divisible by 2, top and bottom. Minus 13 over, what's that, 65? Oh, that probably goes again. I think 13 goes into that. If I do this a lot, so I recognize these, but you don't have to be that way. Just use your calculator and check it, Just divide by 13, top and bottom, and it'll tell you, yes, indeed, 5 times, right? So it's a minus 1/5. Is that okay? All that reduction I did at the end there? That good? Questions on that one? Okay, so, and then the next one. Where am I at?
Leaving negatives positive.
Yeah, absolute values make negatives positives, huh? Yeah. So yeah, let's do this one and we'll break. So 4 to the third minus 9 absolute value, 7 minus 8 over 3 parentheses 5 minus 3 minus 8 plus 2. Okay. Try that one. Yeah, so those absolute value bars. Oh, I should mention this to be more clear. Absolute value bars. First, do the problem inside. First. Second, change answer to positive. Yeah, so you first do the problem. In other words, I noticed in the past some students go, oh, absolute values make things positive, and then they'll just like make that plus right away. No, you can't do that. It doesn't like just change immediately all the signs. You first do the problem, and then you get the final answer, and it changes the final answer to positive. Not all the things in the beginning. That would be different. Does that make sense? So first just do 7 minus 8. What's that? Negative 1. That's the answer to what's inside the bars. And then make that positive. Positive 1. Make sense? So first do the problem. Then change the sign of the answer. Not the signs of the original pieces. Right? See that difference? So 4 cubed, calculator, 64, minus 9. Now, are we good? Are we good? I want to show you something about a mistake I see a lot. Not a lot, a little. I see students who do good work. They'll go, 7 minus 8 is negative 1. Good job. Absolute value bars on the negative 1, make it positive 1. That's correct. That's what they do. They make the final answer positive. And students will go, got it, plus 1. They'll bring down the plus 1. Now it's wrong. Why is that wrong? And the bottom, bottom is, what is the bottom? This is 3 times 2, and this is minus 8 plus 2. Anyway, what's wrong on the top? What's wrong? It's 7 minus 8 is negative 1. Absolute value negative 1 is plus 1. It's plus 1. Bring down the plus 1. There it is, plus 1. What's the problem? It never was 9. Look at the beginning structure, because that won't change. The fundamental structure, signs will change, but structure will not. What do I mean structure? Like, are things times, or are things added or subtracted? What's the structure? What's the original relationship between the 9 and the absolute value bar? What's in the middle between them? Nothing, which means what? Multiplication. That can't change. That can't suddenly become, now the 9's going to add. No, it's times plus 1, not add 1. Do you see that? Where do those parentheses come? Well, you don't have to parentheses if you don't want to, but you got to multiply, because that was the original structure. That's not going to change just because the sign changed. Does that make sense? It was all along going to be 9 times whatever the absolute value produces. Never 9 add or subtract. There was never a plus or minus in between the 9 and the bars, right? I see that mistake a lot. So what I notice is students don't think, a few students aren't yet in the thinking about the relationships between things. Don't just look at numbers. Think about how they relate to one another, right? What's in the middle of them? Nothing? Well, that's times, and that'll never change. Or pluses or minuses? Well, then they're going to always have an add-subtract relationship. Signs may change, but fundamental relationships will not. Right? So always be thinking about how things relate, not just what are they and what's their sign, but how they relate to one another. What's in the middle of them? So what's in the middle of these two? Oops, I'm erasing it. What's in the middle of these two is nothing now. They're not even there. Is nothing, which is times. So it's 9 times plus 1, huh? So that's 64 minus 9 over, I don't know what, 6 minus 8. Is that 0? Yeah. Well, that's dumb. All that work, it's 0? Really? This is stupid. So, all right. So, what's I don't know what the top is. I don't even feel like doing it anymore. 55 over 0. So, what's that?
0.
No, I said 0. I shouldn't have said 0. What's 0 underneath? Undefined. Yeah, it's not 0. It's undefined. They don't even have an undefined option on this one. Did we do something wrong? That's a stupid problem. What's... Is it really 0 on the bottom? It is. It's 0. It's undefined. That's undefined. I didn't even see an undefined option. Let me go back. So this should have been divide by 2 right here. Divide by 2. So 8 divided by 2. This should have been minus 4, right? So 6 minus 4. That should have been 2 on the bottom. Right? Sorry, I hate to patch it. Sorry. There's the answer. 55 over 2, and it's not undefined anymore. Yeah, so you got to watch those little divides and pluses. I was just trying to show you how tricky it is to watch those divides and pluses. Watch those closely. It's easy to miss those, especially when you got old eyes like I do. All right, let's take a break, huh? 10-minute break. If you got questions, be glad to answer them. Come on up.